China versus USA. The new Cold War. The world often believes that peace means the absence of war. But history tells a different story. Right now, without a single official declaration, the United States and China are locked in a silent struggle that is reshaping the future of the world. There are no missiles flying between them, no soldiers facing each other on a battlefield. Yet tensions are rising every day in trade, technology, military power, and global influence. Many people don't realize it, but we may already be living through a new Cold War, one that looks very different from the last one, and maybe even more complex. After the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union ended, many believed the age of superpower rivalry was over. The United States emerged as the dominant global power, while China focused on economic growth rather than confrontation. But over the past few decades, China's rapid rise has challenged that balance. Today, the world's two most powerful nations are competing not just for military strength, but for control over technology, global markets, supply chains, and political influence. This rivalry is not about ideology alone, and it is not a simple story of good versus evil. In TSP, we will break down the China-USA conflict without propaganda or exaggeration, explain how this new Cold War began, how it is being fought, and why its outcome will affect not just these two nations, but every country and every person in the modern world. Chapter 1. How the new Cold War began. The roots of the new Cold War can be traced back to China's rapid transformation over the last few decades. After opening its economy in the late 20th century, China moved from poverty and isolation to becoming the world's second-largest economy. Factories expanded, cities grew, and China became central to global trade. This rise dramatically shifted the balance of global power. For the United States, which emerged as the world's dominant superpower after the collapse of the Soviet Union, China's growth was not seen as just economic success. Instead, it was viewed as a long-term strategic challenge to American leadership. Meanwhile, China believed that U.S. military bases, alliances, and influence near its borders were efforts to contain its rise. At first, cooperation defined the relationship. The two countries traded, invested, and benefited from each other. But over time, trust began to fade. Competition replaced cooperation, driven by fear on both sides. Fear of losing influence, security, and control. This slow shift marked the beginning of a new Cold War, quieter than the old one, but potentially just as dangerous. Chapter 2. Economic rivalry and the trade war. The economic relationship between the United States and China is one of the most complex in modern history. Both countries depend heavily on each other, yet they increasingly view each other as rivals rather than partners. The U.S. accuses China of unfair trade practices, currency manipulation, intellectual property theft, and heavy government control over industries. China rejects these claims and argues that American tariffs, sanctions, and trade restrictions are designed to slow China's development. From Beijing's perspective, these actions are attempts to preserve U.S. economic dominance rather than promote fair competition. The trade war that followed was not just about import taxes and exports, it was about control. Control over supply chains, manufacturing hubs, shipping routes, and global financial systems. Companies began moving factories, governments imposed sanctions, and economic uncertainty spread worldwide. This rivalry shows that economics is no longer separate from geopolitics. In the new Cold War, money, markets, and trade policies have become powerful weapons, shaping global alliances and redefining how nations compete for power. Chapter 3. The Technology War. Technology is the most critical battlefield in the new Cold War. In the modern world, power is defined not only by military strength, but by technological leadership. Artificial intelligence, advanced computer chips, 5G networks, space systems, and data control now shape the future. The United States fears that China's rapid technological progress could challenge its economic and military superiority. As a result, Washington has imposed restrictions on China's access to advanced semiconductors and sensitive technologies. These measures aim to slow China's progress in key industries. China, however, has responded by investing billions into research and development. Its goal is technological self-sufficiency, to reduce reliance on foreign technology and build its own advanced systems. This race is not about smartphones or consumer gadgets. It is about surveillance, power, cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, and future military dominance. Whoever leads in technology will shape global standards, control information flows, and influence the next generation of innovation. This makes the technology war one of the most decisive fronts of the new Cold War. Chapter 4. Military Power and Strategic Tensions. Although neither the United States nor China wants a direct war, military tensions continue to rise. The U.S. maintains a strong global military presence, with powerful alliances across Asia and the Pacific. China, meanwhile, has rapidly modernized its armed forces, expanded its navy, and increased military exercises near disputed regions. The South China Sea has become a major flashpoint, where China asserts territorial claims and the U.S. conducts freedom of navigation operations, but the most dangerous issue remains Taiwan. China considers Taiwan an inseparable part of its territory, while the United States supports Taiwan's security and democracy. This situation creates constant tension. Even without deliberate aggression, a misunderstanding, accident, or miscalculation could trigger a serious conflict. Unlike the Cold War of the past, where clear boundaries existed, today's military rivalry operates in close proximity. This makes the risk of escalation far more unpredictable and dangerous. Chapter 5. Global Influence and Proxy Competition. The new Cold War is not limited to Washington and Beijing. It is being fought across the globe through influence rather than direct conflict. Both countries compete for partnerships in Africa, the Middle East, Latin America, and Asia. China expands its influence through massive infrastructure projects, loans, and trade deals, especially under initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative. Roads, ports, railways, and energy projects help China strengthen economic ties and political influence. The United States relies on diplomatic alliances, international institutions, military partnerships, and soft power. Education, culture, media, and shared values remain key tools of American influence. Many countries find themselves caught in the middle. They seek economic benefits from China while maintaining security ties with the United States. This balancing act highlights a key feature of the new Cold War. It is global, complex, and affects nations far beyond the two main rivals. Chapter 6. Why this Cold War is different. Unlike the Cold War of the 20th century, this rivalry is deeply interconnected. The United States and China are not isolated enemies. Their economies, supply chains, and financial systems are tightly linked. A complete separation would damage both countries and the global economy. This interdependence makes the conflict more complex and less predictable. There are no clear ideological blocks or physical borders. Instead, competition happens through markets, technology, influence, information, and narratives. The new Cold War is quieter, often invisible to ordinary people, yet its impact may be greater than ever before. Decisions made today will shape the future of global power, innovation, and security. Whether this rivalry leads to cooperation, coexistence, or confrontation will define the direction of the 21st century. The rivalry between China and the United States is not a simple story of heroes and villains. It is a struggle driven by power, fear, ambition, and survival in a rapidly changing world. This new Cold War is not being fought with tanks crossing borders or missiles flying through the sky, but through technology, economies, influence, and strategic pressure. Its consequences reach far beyond Washington and Beijing, shaping global stability, trade, security, and the future of millions of people. Whether this competition remains cold or turns dangerous will depend on decisions made not only by leaders, but by how the world responds to this shifting balance of power. If you found this video informative, please like, share, wheat, and subscribe to Pastora Doc for more fact-based videos on history and geopolitics. Your support helps the channel grow and allows us to bring you deeper, unbiased insights into the events shaping our world. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this new Cold War between China and the United States will remain cold? Or could it turn into something more dangerous? Share your opinion in the comments below and be part of the conversation.